Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Thank you guys for being here today. Oh, it's been a long day, guys. It's been a crazy one at that. Uh, I haven't too long come in, and it's just been. Um, I'm usually on here earlier, instead of later, but I'm here later today because of some things I had to take care of. But in any event, I am here, guys, as I told you that I will be here Monday through Friday. Um, so I hope you guys are enjoying this weather, enjoying your day, and thank you for tuning in and for supporting this channel. I really appreciate that. Um, Also, I had to find something, guys, for these hot flashes. This is no joke. And it took me a minute, but I found something that works so that I can sleep most of the night instead of a few hours. For anyone who's going through anything like that, estrogen helps. The estrogen that takes care of um, your metabolism. It helps with the moods and mood swings, which I don't have a lot of those. It's just irritating to feel like you're always in the oven. It helps a whole lot with that. After 2 days of taking it, I already feel the difference. So anybody who's going through that, get yourself that. It works. So also, guys, a few things to tell you before we get into this topic of discussion today. Um, what was the other thing I wanted to say? Because I write down things before I come on so I don't forget. Because what was happening before, I wanted to tell you guys some things, and then after I close out the video, I say to myself, "Oh wow, I want to talk about that." So this is why I always have some notes here in front of me. Um, Also, what I wanted to tell you guys is that so last night I went to the movies. I finally just got myself out because I'm on vacation, and so I don't know the area that well. I'm still learning, and I didn't realize that the movie theater wasn't that far from me. And so I went to the movies. I went to see this movie. The name of it, let me get the name of it. It Ends With Us. Because I looked at the trailer. You know how you watch the movie trailer? And I said, wow, this is an interesting love story that I want to, go and see. And it started out that way. I promise you guys, it started out like a love story. And I went, got my popcorn and everything, theater real nice, and what happened, it started out this woman who, it started, I don't want to give everybody details a lot because in case you might want to see the movie, she went home. Her father had passed away, and I think she was an only child. She went home to the funeral, and it was obvious that she had some issues with her father. Because when she was supposed to speak about him, she wasn't able to do so. She just couldn't bring herself to talk about whatever. And then she met this guy, right? She decided to stay home. And she met this guy, and very, very good looking guy. This guy was a doctor, I think neurosurgeon. And it started off, this guy never had a relationship. He just, was in the beginning, a womanizer or whatever. And when he met her, and I'm not going to get into a whole lot of details, but they started to date. She taught him how to date her, and it turned into a relationship, and they got married. And one of the things that throughout the movie, it kept doing flashbacks to when she was a teenager, a young child, um, and she experienced watching her father physically abuse her mother. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then this guy would do little things, and it just, I didn't see that coming because it took me back to a place of abuse. I mean, it was little things. He wasn't like jumping on her and beating her, but he was doing things when they had arguments, like pushed her down the stairs in an argument and then told her she fell down the stairs, that kind of nonsense. And it just started to get out of control. And I was glad when she was able to stand up to the whole situation, is what I'm going to say about that. But I didn't expect that turn of events, because it just looked like this was going well right up until the marriage. And then boom, and it brought me back to a place, guys, when I was in that 10-year relationship, and how people who are narcissistic can make you feel bad about something that's not your fault. I don't know how many of you who are listening to me now have gone through that, but it's I've gone through that. Dealing with someone who deliberately starts something, because narcissist individuals, they want control over just about everything. They want control over the person that's in their life. They want control over, and if they can't have the control, they start doing things, to try to obtain it. Scare tactics, and if anyone's gone through that, and then if that doesn't work, it starts to escalate into physical abuse. And I know what that feels like, because I've dealt with that. And that's how it started out in the movie, because you don't see him exactly pushing her down the stairs, but he did, and he's telling her she fell and all this other nonsense. And then she starts to see where this is leading, and it just took me back to a place of, oh. But I'm glad it had a better ending. That's all I'm going to say. But the name of the movie is called It Ends With Us. And very, very good movie. It was, more than what I expected. So it's worth seeing. And movies went up a lot. I haven't been in a while. So, but I did go, and it was like, wow. But it was nice to get out and do something different. So just wanted to talk about that. I also wanted to say thank you, guys. One of my videos that's called Smiling Faces got over 1,400 views. That's over 1,400 views, and people are still steadily watching the video. It's going up and up and up. And thank you, guys, because sometimes these videos will be lighthearted, and then other times these videos will be intense because of the message that has to be presented within the video. And the reason for that is because everything I talk about here is everything I've gone through. What I don't do is use names of individuals or specific locations, addresses, etc. I don't do any of that. However, I do talk about the experiences of these situations that happen in my own life, and how I have been tremendously affected by it. Because um, I want other people to know that they're not going through whatever they're going through. That's a challenge, and that has traumatized them and caused a lot of pain in their life. They're not going through that alone. I've gone through most of these things, all of these things that I've discussed here. And it has not been an easy journey, you know. However, if you continue to listen and show up on this channel, you may hear something that you might be currently going through at the moment. And I might talk about how I went through something and how I got through it. And it may help you in your own personal situation. So please continue to show up here on this channel. And remember, this is a no judgment zone. We're not here to judge other people, condemn them, or anything like that. We're here to uplift and to help people so that they can get through these challenges and to understand why some of these things might be happening. Remember, guys, I always talk about people and situations and circumstances come into your life for a reason, a season, a lifetime, or a lesson. And many of these things are lessons that we have to learn. And once we learn them, thank God we don't have to repeat them. And once we understand why these things are happening to us, then we can understand more or less what to do to get through them. So that's the purpose here. Okay, the title of this discussion today, excuse me, guys, is called embracing new beginnings as I leave the past behind me. So, once again, embracing new beginnings as I leave the past behind me. And I am slowly starting to venture out as I embrace my new life and my new beginnings. Because it's been a hard, long journey of challenges and problems and pain and loss and grief. It's been very difficult journey for me, but worth the new changes that I am now experiencing within my life. Because people, some people think, oh, she had it easy and she does it. No, I've never had it easy, people. From the time that I can remember as a child and up until just a few years ago, life has been hell in a handbasket for me, you know? And to be quite even more honest with you guys, I always felt, because I've always been different from my family and others, I always marched to the beat of a different drum. I always was different from them, and they never related to me. I always felt like, you know, even though I don't look like that, but if you guys ever seen the movie The Elephant Man, I don't know, for those who have, you know what I'm talking about. I always felt like they thought of me as some kind of freak exhibit in a circus ring or something like that, because that's how I felt like I've been treated, you know. And I may have one or two, uh, people who never treated me that way and who was there for me. And those people are no longer here, and that's why I embrace new beginnings, because the people who were there for me and who uplifted me and encouraged me are no longer here. And so, you know, um, so that's how I felt all my life, pretty much like the Elephant Man in that movie, you know, uh, without the disfiguration, but still all the same trauma effect from it. And I refuse to deal with that at this point in my life. So what I had to do, God had to sit me down, and I had to be in a place of isolation for a while because, excuse me, guys, um, I have a little bit of sinuses going on. But anyway, I had to be in a place of isolation for a while, with the shutdown and everything, to understand and research and find out why these things keep happening. What am I doing wrong? Why, and it's not me, it's just how the world is today, and how we go through lessons. And like I said, if we don't learn those lessons, they're going to repeat, different people, different situations, but the same lesson until we learn it. And I had to learn the lessons, and some of these lessons meant stop being overly generous to people who don't deserve it, for me to stop being subservient to other people who don't give a damn about me one way or the other, and stop allowing people into my space and into my life and energy so that they can suck and drain me dry of whatever I have or don't have. And I had to learn that. And it has been a very difficult lesson to learn. And I always emphasize inner peace. Peace and tranquility is so much better than chaos and toxicity. Especially as I get older, I don't want any of that in my life anymore. Although I talk a lot also about cutting off people, it has been difficult to do so, but truly worth it. Because I would cry about it, because I couldn't understand why these people were so envious of me. And if you go back a few videos, you'll see a video where I talk about envy and how it's different from jealousy. It's far worse than jealousy, because envy means that people, no matter how hard you work for something, no matter what your accomplishments are and your qualifications and credentials, they just don't feel you should have it. They don't want you to have it. That's a far worse than jealousy. And I talked a lot about that in that particular video. If you haven't seen it, go back and, through my videos, and you'll see it there. Because that's what I dealt with a lot, envy. People hating on me for no reason. Not because I particularly did something to them or against them, just because they don't like how I am. And sometimes these people want me to be a negative stereotype. Maybe it'll make them feel better about their own selves if I was a negative stereotype, but that's not who I am. I am my authentic self, and I can't be anything other than that. And that's what people don't get. They don't want me to, some of these haters don't want me to be myself, don't want me to be in the upright. But God wants me in that energy. And as I look to Him and partner with Him and stay in prayer and close to Him, He is setting me up, in the upright. And also to take, and keep my vows. And one of the vows is to pay it forward to help other people who are going through something similar to what I've gone through, and help them to get through it and let them know that they can get through these things, that you don't have to be in a place of pain and despair. You can be uplifted no matter what you've gone through. And as I make these changes, God has been blessing me by providing other things in my life. Like if I lose friends and people who I thought were my friends and people who I thought was there and had my back, and they really didn't, and I had to cut them off, block and delete, then God will put other people, really genuine people in my life, and other things in my life that creates blessings. And I have seen Him do that over and over again as I continue to move forward, because it's not easy sometimes to move forward too, because sometimes the pain of the past will come back, besides the grief of the loss of people who were in my life who passed away, but the pain of those who known half your life, most your life, and that they were just hanging there for how do you say it, for ulterior motives. They wasn't there as a genuine friend. And that is what bothers me the most, is that they were not in my life for positive reasons. Someone's there to see what they can get and then go about their business and all of that. And all of this has caused a lot of trauma and pain, but I had to work overtime to heal these hurts and pains. And one of the ways I did it is to start with therapy. And then all these other things came after I started doing therapy and doing the work. And then it's other things that I have created have come after the therapy, because I had to look at myself and I had to change some things in my life so that I won't allow people to come in and take advantage of me. And what I do now, because I've learned these lessons, I see behind the mask, and I don't make excuses for it anymore as I did in the past. If it's walking like a duck, quacking and looking and the color of a duck, I don't call it a dog or anything else. I look at it for what it is, and it's so important. And then once I see what it is, I'm not allowing it into my space or energy or life. I cut off, block, and delete. And even though that might be painful, it's necessary, because that means I'm not learning lessons. If I learn a lesson and then let a toxic situation back in my life, and knowing that it's toxic, knowing the result, then I'm not learning lessons, and I'm going to start repeating with all these situations again that I don't want. So this is why I'm careful as to who I allow into my space and circle. Connecting with organizations and people within my new community has been a blessing from God. Learning the community, learning where things are, connecting with other people and having meetings with them has been a blessing. You know, Peace for me is so much better than the chaos, arguing, fighting. One of the things I don't really talk about here is that, when I first came to Massachusetts, it was because, I was dating someone and got engaged to that person, and I didn't really know anybody here, but I trusted this person. We have been dating for 2 years or so, whatever, going back and forth. And then I decided to relocate here. I probably stayed with them for a few months, maybe 3 or 4 months before I got my own place. But noticing that this was not going to work, because this is somebody who has a lot of addictions, and I didn't see that before, but the least I am today, I take my time. I don't just rush into things as I did before. I didn't really rush you know, but just keep ignoring the red flags. I'm going to say it that way. I don't ignore the red flags anymore. I look deeper into it because that's a story within itself, guys. And and the ex knew that I didn't know much here. They thought that you know some of the stuff that was happening that was very painful. And towards the end, I still wanted to save the relationship because I wanted to do couples therapy. And when this ex of mine said okay, and I thought we were going to get through all these hard times, etc., and did not show up for the therapy, and then a few days later said I don't want this anymore. And it was very painful because I was in a place here in Massachusetts by myself, not really knowing anyone or anything. But God is good because I learned things when I moved into the place where I was living before. I learned how to get around, and I could always work because of the I wear many hats. I can do many different jobs, and what I do today, and I was able to do it, but it was painful. I went back and forth for a while, and each time I went back, this is what I'm talking about lessons. It was worse than before. The situation was worse and worse, and then one day, there was something. Loyalty is everything to me, and trust. And when somebody makes a promise to me, it's like me making a vow to God about something, then I don't carry through. That's what this felt like. And this person broke a promise. And it was everything to me. And that was the end of it. And there was no going back and forth anymore. But I thank God that He brought me through all that pain. And then, shortly thereafter, going through the loss of my mother and all these people who meant so much to me. It's been a long journey, but like I said, it was worth it because now the space where I am, peace is better. Embrace all the good, everyone, and take God as your partner. Pray to Him, ask Him to help you because this is not a one man show. This is something that you need help with because believe me, without God, I would not be where I am today. I would not be able to do any of this. He will answer your prayers if you're in the upright, you're not out here trying to hurt somebody, set them up for failure, and you're really, really trying to go, do the best that you can. Ask God for help, and I promise you, He will help you and be there. Just take a step, and God will do the rest. You see, many folks might be under the impression that by doing the wrong thing, that the right thing will happen for them. That's not how this works. This is not how the universal law works at all. Quite the opposite. It reminds me of that Lauryn Hill song. When was that song? Back in the 90s. How you gonna win when you know you're not right within? How does a person think that they're gonna get something good for doing something bad and they know it's not right? I don't get that. But be careful of your manifestations and what you're manifesting because it can come back to bite you in the ass. Especially if you're trying to manifest something negative against someone who has done no wrong to you at all. The only thing that person has done is walked away from all the toxicity that you brought to their life and the pain that you brought, and they decided one day to get up and to leave it all behind. You don't have a right to come and bring negativity to their front door. Be careful who and what you're manifesting against people because all of that will come back and be right there at your front door. Remember, it is better to be at peace than to be in pieces, because when someone is bringing a lot of toxicity and negativity to your door, no matter how much you love them and care about them, oh, this is my family, this is A, B, C, and D. But if it's not bringing peace to your life, if it's not enhancing your life for the better, or if it's not for your highest good, then it's bringing toxicity. And what I would suggest is to set boundaries. Start with setting boundaries and make people put some respect on your name, whether they like you or not. They are to respect you. And if they can't respect you, what I do is cut off, block, and delete. That is not up for discussion. Respect is a two-way street. And when people don't respect you, they are showing you who they are and how they feel about you. There's no but or if in betweens. They are showing you through their actions with their disrespect. And this is why I had to cut off all of them for the most part. All of those who are in my life, relocate myself out of a toxic environment and toxic individuals and put myself in another position. Respect is everything to me. And when people don't have that for me, they get immediately cut off. There's no continuing discussions about that. When you start to heal, you start to self love, self care and self love. It's always important to take care of your physical and mental health, and to love on you, because how do you expect other people to love you if you don't love you? And this is what we're supposed to be doing you know. And please share this video with others so that they know this is the space they can show up. Even because some people don't talk openly about their feelings and trauma and things that happen to them. I do encourage you to start at a place in therapy, to Google a therapist and connect with one. But this is also another space that you can come to and be encouraged and uplifted. You don't have to be in a place of depression and despair. Know that you matter. The work is not easy, but I promise you it's worth it. And each step you take, ask God to help you to be, and He will be behind the scenes taking 2 and 3 steps. I promise you that, because I am living proof of that. I have my days where I don't feel like doing things just as everybody else, but I promise you it's only a day or so, and the next day I'm right back at it, because I can't afford to give up on me. Investing in me is a priority, as it should be for you guys as well. One day at a time, one step at a time. Nothing happens overnight. The work will pay off as you continue to invest in yourself. I promise you that, guys. It's worth it. That's the message for today. Thank you for being here, and please share this video with other people. Thank you for the likes and subscribing to the channel, and let's keep this going. I will be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what time, but I will show up here for you guys. And please subscribe to the channel so that you know when I'm here. Thank you again, guys. Enjoy your Wednesday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.